Hi everybody, we are back at Spring Hill. I was here just a couple days ago when I made that last video at Adam-ondi-Ahman, and I wanted to show you some more of the markers that are up here. And this time we're going to start with this one. So I guess this was the residence of the stake president of Adam-ondi-Ahman, John Smith. I don't know much about him. If you do, feel free to put it in the comments below. But I don't know if there's any other markers going that way, like on this side of the city area. But we're going to start here. This is the first one that I know of on this side. And we'll just make our way this way. Then we'll go back to the temple site, the public square and religious site. And then we'll go to the other side of this area. And there's a bunch of markers over there. And I'm hoping that maybe during this video, I might come across maybe others that I didn't know about. Because there's one place that I know of that I want to go down that I haven't checked out before. So already, here's the next marker. The one that we were just looking at was marker number 9. And then you have this, marker number 11. I'm not really sure how they decided to number these because they're somewhat in order. So public building number 1, 15 feet by 33 feet. I don't know if there's anything that way. I'm not going to check in this video, but I'll probably come back some other time. There is what looks like a trail that goes off that way. It's not, is it Asmode? I can't really tell. Maybe there is something over there. I'll find out some other time. But anyway, we just saw marker number 9, marker number 11. And then up here, the public square, that's marker number 10. So you would think that they would maybe go around the perimeter of the city and just go like 9, 10, 11. Like this next one here would be 11, but it's not for some reason. Oh, there's another trail. So there's kind of like 2 that go off that way. Okay. I didn't notice this until last time, and I was already done with my video, but there's actually 2 markers at this one. So yeah, public square and religious site. So this is the site for the temple. And then on the other side, you have marker number 12, and that one says Fuert Brickyard, Cravensville period. Now, over the course of this channel, I expect to learn more and more and more about these sites. So right now, I'm just kind of like Church Historic Sites 101. But now I realize why they have these pokey things on top, because since you have the 2 markers, it's like enough space for a bird to like sit on top of, maybe make a nest or something like that. Whereas the other markers just have 1 marker. And you can't make a nest on top. Do you think that that's right? Or do you know, like, were you involved in this? Please let me know in the comments. Okay, but now we get to walk over here and get in the shade. It's not too hot, but when we pulled up, it was like, I think it said it was 81 degrees. I'm sure it's cooled down a little bit, but it's still a little bit warm. A little too warm for my liking, but I'll make the sacrifice for you guys. Okay, oh, it feels better here in the shade. When I was walking up here, I was making a video for my other channel, Christian Homestead, and we saw a deer as we were coming this way. So maybe we'll see some more. I'm looking around. I'll let you know if I see any. Okay, over here we got marker number 14 in this nice little cleared out area. It's almost walking into a room or something. Public building, 20 feet by 50 feet. Oh, and it is really nice in this little area that they've cleared out because it's so green, and I feel like you hear more of the bugs here, probably because there's some in these trees right here or something, or maybe it's just the acoustics, I don't know. All right, let's go down this way. I'm hoping at some point in the future the church will maybe make a road that comes over to this area and have a parking lot. I mean, I know the church has better things to spend their money on, but hopefully someday in the future you can just drive and park here, because there are just too many people that do not know about the city. Like this is the city that we're looking at. Here's marker 15, blacksmith shop. Even though there are trails, it's definitely not the easiest to get to. Like I said before, it's probably not good for the elderly or young children, or on a day when it's hot. I would not recommend it. You might get heat exhaustion or heat stroke. I think that I almost did when I was here on the 4th of July. I got a headache and I was feeling nauseous, so I probably did get heat exhaustion. Number 19, McGee's Tailor Shop. All right. Oh, and this is nice right here, going downhill. Oh my gosh. But this is good for me. You know, you got to find a way to exercise. We had a gym membership when we moved here to Independence, but we had a lot of things going on in the summer and we had to cut some expenses, and so I'm not going to the gym right now. But hopefully that's going to change, maybe, I don't know, October, November. I really want to get back to it. But for right now, walking to church sites will have to do. But it is definitely not a bad way to get your exercise. Okay, here's the next one. Also back in this cleared out area. Let's see. This is survey marker, October 31st, 1833. Okay, I will say, don't quote me on this, but I think October 31st of 1833, I think that's when essentially the expulsion started of the Saints from Jackson County. Can I have somebody verify that for me and put it in the comments? But I was reading that a while ago, and I think that was the date. Because I remember thinking, oh, that's Halloween. Halloween of 1833. So it's really interesting that there's that survey marker that's from that day. I think the way it was, I think there was like a city in this area or a town called Cravensville, like what we read on that marker. And then later, I don't know what happened to it, but then later I think that's when they platted out the city for Adam-ondi-Ahman. But I'm not sure that they started doing that until like 1838, because it was around those later years, the later years of that decade, that you started having this church history in Davies County, where we're at right now, in Caldwell County, where Far West is at. Also here in Davies County. Between here and far west, there was another site that Joe Smith located and designated for the city of Seth. And I have a video a few videos back. There's nothing to see there, but I followed the directions in the book by Lamar C. Barrett, Sacred Places, Missouri. He said to take a certain road and go, I can't remember, just X number of miles, and then you'll find approximately where the city would have been. So I made a video going there. Okay, really quick. So usually at this point, or every other time before today, I would just continue that way, and then it meets back up where you start coming up here. So I have not been down this way. And this path is definitely worn. It looks like there's been a lot of traffic this way. You see wheel tread marks. I'm going to guess that we're gonna find a marker over here somewhere. If we don't, I'll be surprised. I will say I'm not a big fan that it's so rocky, because I have to watch where I step. Well, I always watch where I step, but I have to be even more cautious because I don't want to break my ankle. Tell me if you see any markers. Of course, I'm not going to hear you right now, but afterwards, I'll see your comment that says, "Oh, there was a marker at this time mark," and I'll go back and look at it, and then be upset at myself that I missed it, and then have to come back and make another video, which is fine because I plan on coming back to these places over and over again. Oh, one thing that's great though when you come here, like when you come to these areas where we're walking right now, is that it's very secluded, which again is a little bit dangerous if it's a hot day and if you like pass out. My wife is waiting for me over at the parking lot at Tower Hill right now, but you'll definitely want to, and this is like just the rule of thumb for any time you go camping or hiking, you should always have somebody with you. But anyway, it's really nice though, because this is a great place to maybe, you know, pray, even pray out loud, because there's like nobody over here. I've heard that they call this the garden temple. Yeah, that's what they call it, the garden temple. I think the missionaries call it that. Now, don't get confused. A lot of people make this mistake where they think that this is the location of the Garden of Eden, and it's not. The Garden of Eden was in Independence in Jackson County. It's my assumption, because I don't have anything that explicitly states it, but it's my assumption that that's why the temple lot is where it's at in Independence, because for all we know, that very specific site that was identified by Joe Smith, maybe that's where Adam was created, was that very lot where the temple is going to be built. Maybe that's where Adam and Eve were sealed together. Maybe that was the spot where they were cast out of the Garden of Eden, or something like that. For right now, it would all just be speculation, but I tend to think that whenever the Lord designates a certain spot, there's a very good reason for that. It's not just arbitrary. Maybe sometimes, maybe it's just the best spot for people having access to the temple. Like, it could be that sometimes, but other times it's probably to commemorate something that happened there. So when we're talking about the city of Seth, I would not be surprised to find out that maybe Seth was born there. Maybe that's where he received the priesthood from Adam. Maybe once he moved out of Adam-ondi-Ahman, because, oh, I see some markers. I see 2 of them. Yes. Yes. Okay. So what I was saying before, the Garden of Eden, Independence, Missouri. Adam and Eve came here to Davies County, Adam-ondi-Ahman, and this is where they dwelt. We don't know for how long, but this was essentially like the first temple site or temple space outside of the Garden of Eden itself. So, but with the city of Seth, maybe maybe once he grew up, maybe once it was time for him to, you know, start his own family, create a city, maybe that's what the city of Seth was. Okay, number 16, river bottom cabin sites. Huh, okay. River bottom cabin sites. What's that one over there? Gotta watch out for these rocks. Oh, this is also... Okay, wait, that one... What was that? That one was 16 also, right? Okay, 16. River bottom blacksmith shop. Huh. Okay, so we now know up to blacksmith shop locations at Adam-ondi-Ahman. One is on top of Spring Hill, and the other one is here. I guess this location, you would call it River, what was it? River Bottom. And both of these markers are marked 16 for some reason, which is fine. I have no problem with that. I just want to know why. Why not just give it its own number? But I don't know. I think I said in the other video, I think Lamar C. Barrett may have had something to do with these markers. Because when I first came to Adam-ondi-Ahman, I have a friend named Tamra, and she said that before recently, you had these markers, but it was just a number. It wouldn't have a description. And so you had to have Lamar C. Burton's book to look up the number and see what that site was. So that's why I think he was probably involved with these. So are those both 16? Because I don't know. And the thing that I've noticed is I think that the numbering system is different now from what it was, because I think Lyman White's cabin is a different number now than what it was in the book. I could be wrong about that. Okay, what's this? Old rock lined well. Whoa. Careful, Jared. You don't want to fall in there and die. Don't drop the GoPro. Okay. Okay. Now what? Oh, we have a fork in the road. Okay, we got to make a decision. Do it right now as you're watching this. Of course, I'm not going to know until after the fact, but I'm curious, which way would you choose to go? I'm just going to go down one way this time, most likely, unless like one way is short. Would you rather go right or left? I myself, sorry, I thought the battery died, or that it overheated. I think I want to go to the left. It's just calling me for some reason. I know that there's like a, there's a marker for Lyman White's ferry, because my understanding is that's what he did, is he operated a ferry. Oh, look. Okay, it didn't matter which one you chose. They both they were both the right answer. Another mystery at Adam-ondi-Ahman. We got to have those two ways. You have to have a way for the lefties and you have to have a way for the righties, so everyone feels welcome here. Okay, oh yeah, this is it. White's Ferry. Let's get up here. That is cool. That is so cool. And there's Grand River. If you go on the University of Virginia's website for Mormon studies, there's a section called the David O. McKay Diaries excerpts, and they have it broken down into topics, and one of those topics is Missouri. Go to that, and it talks about a lot of things. There's a wealth of information there, let me tell you. When you get into it, hold down Control and push F, and that'll pull up the search prompt. And you can look for keywords on the website, like Adam-ondi-Ahman, Independence, Cain, Abel, Far West. But I learned in the diaries, or sorry, I keep saying the diaries, the diary excerpts, that they wanted to make a dam. They wanted to dam up the Grand River right here. And the original plan would have flooded the valley of Adam-ondi-Ahman. And so the church didn't want that. And I don't know all the details. It was probably through Alvin R. Dyer, who he was a counselor in the first presidency under David O. McKay. I think it was him that was able to negotiate that the dam be built somewhere else, so it wouldn't affect this sacred site. But anyway, that's the Grand River. Yeah, it doesn't look like that goes anywhere. I'm just looking around. Okay, well, let's follow this and make our way back. But we're still going to go down an area that I haven't been down yet. So hopefully there's some more markers. Because I still don't know where, let's see, I'm trying to think. I don't know where markers 1, 2, and 3 are, for example. I also don't know where marker number 8 is. So at Tower Hill, you have Lyman Wyatt's first cabin, or his second cabin, I mean. That's marker number 4. Number 5 is the Consecrated Sleeping Spring. Number 6 is the Barlow cabin. Number 7 is, oh, what was it called? I think James Burgess cabin site. So 5, 6, 7. And then number 8, I don't know. And then if I remember right, we started this video at number 9. And I think, excuse me, I think that one's the John Smith stake president marker. So I don't know where number 8 is. I think I'm also missing number 13. So I don't know. But I'm really happy with this video because we found a few more. And I need these videos because last time I was here, I was using this website to try and get the GPS location of all these markers. And I thought I was doing a really good job. And when I got home, those GPS coordinates were just like not accurate at all, except for maybe one. So It doesn't really matter though, because as long as I have video like what we're doing right now, I can see the roads and the trails and the local features. And then I can look at the satellite image and get pretty close to where the markers should be. So I'm not too worried about it. You can actually see some of the markers from the satellite imagery. You'd be surprised, but they actually do show up, some of them. Some of them you can't see because of the foliage. There's some trail right there. I wonder if that goes anywhere. I don't see anything though. So at this point, well, was that the trail that we came down? Okay, now I'm lost. That's probably the trail that we came down. I don't know. The thing about it is, you have the Grand River over here, and it wraps around this way. So it's not like this trail is just going to keep going on forever. It also has to wrap around. Otherwise, it's going to go into the farm field. So I think that this is like the main trail that goes all the way back to Tower Hill. Oh, it is nice being in this shade though. I'll tell you what. It is still humid, so that makes it a little bit miserable. But again, it's not the 4th of July. That was such a bad idea. That was so bad. It makes me wonder how many times in my life I may have died if it wasn't for a divine intervention. I'm kind of being serious about that. Maybe not about the 4th of July, although that was kind of on the dangerous side. But I do tend to think that there's probably other times that I could have died. For example, in the Army, we deployed to Afghanistan, and I went to Bagram Airfield. Oh no, this is the way that we came down. That's definitely the way that we came down. So we'll go this way. So I went to Bagram Airfield, and I was there without incident. On a weekly basis, usually like, 2, 3, 4 times a week, we'd receive indirect fire from mortars and stuff like that. But it was never really that much of a danger. It was, yes, it was. I know that there were some soldiers before my time that died at Bagram, at one of the bus stops. There's a shuttle that used to drive around the base. So I heard about that. While I was there, we were good. And then after the unit got back, it wasn't too long afterwards that they were going to deploy again to the exact same place. And I was at... Okay, sorry. The GoPro overheated. It's going to be really nice to shoot during the fall and the winter. Anyway, I don't know what the last thing was that I said, but I guess I'll just start it from here. So when we got back from our deployment, the company was going to go once again to the exact same location, exact same mission. And I was at a fork in the road in my Army career. I was just a junior soldier, so I had to decide if I wanted to make that my career and stay and go on another deployment, which, I didn't necessarily want to do that. It's a good experience, but I didn't want to be away from my family. It's also really good pay. You get combat pay and all this stuff. But my back was hurting really bad, and it felt like Army life was kind of starting to wear on the family. And so we just decided to get out, prayed about it, received signs, and we made a major life decision. And I think it was the right one, because my unit went back, and on Veterans Day, they decided to do a Veterans Day run. Because, like, when you're deployed, well, I've only been to, you know, on the one deployment. I've only been deployed once. But where we were at, they really try to keep morale up and have activities and games and movies and just anything, you know, to keep morale up. And one of those activities was, I think it was like a 20-kilometer run or some ridiculous thing like that, like something that only crazy people like to do. And as they were gathering up, getting ready to go on the run, there was an insider attack, and there were several that died, both members of my unit, as well as some civilian contractors. And I don't know, for all I know, maybe I would have been part of that. I definitely wouldn't have been part of the run by choice, because I hate running. Oh, there's some corn down here. Let's take a look at this really quick. Oh, I love it. Now, I don't know if this is like healthy corn, if it's supposed to look like this. I know nothing about corn, but I like how it feels like fall. You know, September is just around the corner, and a lot of trees are starting to, their leaves are starting to change colors, and leaves are starting to fall. Okay. I'm guessing that that's probably just, you know, farm access road that goes around the field. We just came from that way. I'm pretty sure this is probably the main trail that goes back to Tower Hill, so we'll go this way. So I would not have been part of that run by choice for sure, but just like on a mission, when you're a missionary for the church, if you're a junior soldier, you have to have a battle buddy pretty much at all times, unless you go to use the bathroom. And so if I were paired up with somebody that really wanted to go on that stupid run, I may have been there, you know. It was so sad, because it's like, I feel like situations like that always happen to other people. In this case, in like other units, not your unit. You know everybody. I was the unit supply guy, and I issued, well, I also had the privilege of having extra duty, additional duty. I was the NBC person that issued the gas masks. And I remember issuing all three of them their gas masks, and one of them I had known for a while. He was a sergeant first class. The other two, one of them was new to the unit. He had just gotten out of basic training. You know what? Let's talk about happier things. We're at Adam-ondi-Ahman, but I'm sure that the Lord has taken care of them and their families. But let's try and finish this off on a high note. I'm so sorry. You can see the valley right there, and more corn. Oh, you know what? I'm probably gonna have to stop by the Casey's in Gallatin and get some Gatorade. I very easily get heat injuries, and I think it started when I was in the Army, actually, but we'll keep it on a lighter note. So when I was in basic training, that's when I first had my first heat injuries. I got a fever and had to go on this pretty arduous training exercise where at nighttime you have to low crawl from one side of this area to the other. And I don't know how long it is, but it's a long ways. Like let's just say it's like somewhere between 50 and 100 yards. And I asked the drill sergeant like if I could not go because I was just feeling so bad. And they knew that I didn't feel good. And they kind of like talk to each other and like they're like, sorry Davies, you have to go because if you miss this one you're not going to be able to graduate. You're gonna have to get recycled. And so I did it. And then the next day I went to sick call and they put an IV in my arm and rehydrated me. Okay, here's Lyman White's first cabin. So I guess we just took the path that he would have taken to go to work to operate his ferry. I wonder how often he did that. I have no idea what ferry operations are like. I guess it's not that bad of a walk. But it's even further if you go up to his second cabin on Tower Hill. I'm sure he probably still operated the ferry when he was at the second cabin. But I'm sure they were much more physical back then. And so doing a little walk like what we just did probably wasn't that big of a deal. Okay, well this is probably going to be the last site that we look at in this video. I discovered these two places before, that's why I wasn't like surprised or excited when I saw them. But yeah, this last one that I want to show you. And if you know where I can find the other ones, please let me know. Send me an email, put it in the comments, whatever. I'm looking for 1, 2, and 3. Number 8. And then beyond that, I'm not sure. But I think I'm still missing some. I'll have to consult my map. By the time I have this video published, I probably will have my map updated with what we just found. But if it's not, I'll have it done within the next day or two. Now right over here, you see those trees right there? Some of you may recognize that area. That's the area of Preacher's Rock, where if you had somebody preaching from Preacher's Rock or a wagon up there, the congregation would have been down here. And so just on the other side of this little creek right here is another marker. This one is number 25, William Huntington Cabin and Old Cemetery. I have not seen any headstones around here. I don't think there are any. And let's just get a better view of this area over here with the trees. And Preacher's Rock would just be right up there. But, you know, this is additionally hallowed ground because you have people that are buried here. I don't know at the moment if they are members of the church or if they're like from Cravensville. Maybe it's like the Cravensville Cemetery. I don't know at this point. But let's just keep going, if you don't mind, spending some more time with me and just enjoying Adam-ondi-Ahman in a way that I've never really experienced it before, except for just that one other time a couple days ago. And I don't know if you've been down here or not. Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Have you been to any of these place markers that we visited in this video? Have you been to them? Or if you haven't been to them, did you know that they were over here and that where they were located? I'm curious. Okay. I think I might just keep you with me until I make it back to Tower Hill and Preacher's Rock. You'll have to let me know if you like longer videos or do you like them just short. You know, with my other channel, I know everybody has their preference on whether they like long videos or short videos. I don't know what it's like with this type of channel, so you'll have to let me know. I envision that some of you would use my videos as like background video. So say you have company over and you know, they're over for dinner and let's see, I wonder if I can just cross right here. It looks like an area where I could probably cross. Yep, it's dry. I'm gonna cross. Yes, shortcut. Okay, let's go ahead and go over here. Oh, it's a good thing that you stuck with me. Maybe some of you already turned off the video by now. But here we are. We are actually on the valley floor of Adam-ondi-Ahman at this moment. It is beautiful. And Grand River is, you know, over there. It goes over there to the other side. Oh, okay. Now this is new. I have not been over here. I have been over there, like further that way in those trees, but not over here. Oh, and it feels cooler over here. You can definitely feel the temperature differential between here and where we were just at. Oh, I love that. There's few things that I love more than when you're in the country and it's summertime and you hit those cold pockets of air. Like when you're in like a valley like this. I love that so much. Okay. Got some people up there probably wondering what I'm doing down here. I might go show them the consecrated seeping spring because I doubt that they know about it. That's usually what I do when I come here. I'll stop and talk to people, ask where they're from, and then say, hey, have you been down to the consecrated seeping spring? And every single time so far, the answer has always been no. So I love being able to show people that. And then on top of that, I have the story on my phone. So I read them the story. And about half the time, they're usually, I'm not lying, they're usually subscribers of my other channel, Christian Homestead. So that always makes it fun. Oh goodness. Look at the, I don't know if you can get a sense of the hill that I'm walking up right now. It's not like it's the worst, but, and then another time, we're probably gonna go down that way. I've walked down that way a little bit. I haven't seen any markers, but numbers 1, 2, 3, 8, and whatever, they have to be somewhere. We'll find them. Oh, that bench is looking pretty nice right now. So is Preacher's Rock. Oh gosh. Okay guys, we made it. Thanks for sticking with me. I'll talk to you guys later.